You're out by the bullpen mound out there, Martin Kilcoyne.
Yeah, we spent a little time this morning at Roger Dean, took you inside the stadium. Now we're back at the backfields here. First full squad workout, weather permitting, got a little overcast, chance of rain here. Players in early, physicals at 7, but ultimately they'll all hit the field. We've had an Ozzie Smith sighting. The Wizard is here. Jim Edmonds honked at me as I was standing in front of the parking lot, scared the bejesus out of me. So feels like old times being harassed by Edmonds. And Ozzie down here, by the way, Ozzie will be in camp. He and Willie McGee, special instructors. It's one of the great traditions for the team, having those guys around. But today, now I feel like Joe Holloman. He's shooting a Skechers commercial, national commercial being shot over at Roger Dean right now with the Wizard.
You had a nice conversation with Matt Holliday yesterday, and I thought he was quite candid about his future with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, for those who haven't paid attention, the contract has this year on it, and then after that, it's up to the team if they want to bring him back. And his answer was, I hope to make it an easy decision. So, I mean, if he goes out and has a great year or a really good year, they're going to want him back in 2017. But there's always that chance that it could be the last year here. I also thought he was pretty honest about not having to hit third. That's kind of been his spot, and for a lot of players, you just don't want to give that up. That's your thing. It's your identity. But Mike Matheny has been preaching a lot. I need all these guys in that clubhouse to understand where you hit doesn't define who you are, because I think he's kind of got a tricky situation. You know, who's going to hit 7th and 8th? They're not going to want to hit 7th and 8th, but somebody's going to be down at the bottom of that lineup. And if it's not Colton Wong hitting 8th, you tell Johnny Peralta, you're my number 8 hitter. Molina, you're my number 8 hitter. So I think he's preaching flexibility, and Holiday at this point is buying in.
Yeah, I've always thought that to be a funny conversation about where the guy hits. It doesn't matter after the first inning, right? I mean, you just hit where you hit, unless you're hitting in front of the pitcher. Then I guess you don't get as much to hit. But does it really matter if you're batting first or 6th?
Right. We should look up the stats, see how many times does the lineup or the leadoff hitter, how many times does that leadoff hitter actually lead off an inning, where it sets you up with your 1, 2, 3 the way you would, you know, when you draw it up. Hey, here's the perfect number 2 hitter, the perfect number 3 hitter.
Right.
You're right. When you get into the course of a game, I'd love somewhere out there. There's a stat for everything in baseball. I would love to see that number. How often does the leadoff guy actually lead off an inning? Do we have Solomon's down here with me? Otherwise, I would assign him that. Solly is working with me. We just interviewed Yadier Molina. We're working as a team here. The 2 Fox and KTRS. We just talked to Molina. Otherwise, Solly would be working on those stats. By the way, Molina, huge Blues fan, and I've seen him at games this offseason wearing a Molina 4 jersey, and he said he just started going to the games about 4 years ago. And he said he loves it. He gets into it, yells at the refs. And he was already popular enough. If the Blues fans get wind of that, I mean, I don't know if the Molina popularity can go any higher.
When is he expected back?
He's saying he'll be ready for the opener in Pittsburgh. I think the Cardinals are fine with him taking as much time as he needs. But right now, he's not even catching or lifting a bat. I think he'll put on a glove first before he starts swinging. But I think we're still a couple of weeks away from even putting the glove on. And that's what Brian Pena, the backup, more of a veteran guy than Tony Cruz, and he's a switch hitter. They're counting on him to play more. I will say it had been mentioned that maybe Yachty could play a little first base during the season. And when I mentioned that to him just now, the answer could not have been any more brief. When I said, hey, how about a couple of games this year at first base? They mentioned that, and he said, I'm a catcher. Oh, yeah, but maybe they could throw you out there. He said, okay, if that's what they want, but I'm a catcher.
What about Matt Holliday playing first base?
Yeah, again, I don't think that's something they have in mind. I think he was just kind of messing around and saying, I guess I could be available. But think about the roster already. Matt Adams plays first base. Brandon Moss plays first base. Piscotty can play first base. So you'd be pretty far down the road before you would need him over there. I'd be surprised if you see him at first at any time this year. I think that may have been a little overhyped. I mean, it was the middle of January.
Right.
We didn't have much else to talk about. So I don't think that's a huge priority for the team.
Martin Kilcoyne live in Jupiter, Florida. You're doing your show today, and give us a sense of what's going on in your show. And have you found any nice grouper down there yet?
I am still in search of note to self. Today is Find McGraw, the grouper special, and also find out those leadoff stats with Solomon here. Tuesday programming, we'll do a little Tipped Off Tuesday. The callers can get involved. Randy Naughton's back with us in the studio. We're going to talk to Chet Fleeben about Mike Brown's family wanting those names of the jury to be released. Why am I blanking on the not the secret jury? What's it called?
The grand jury. The grand jury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get Chet Fleeben's thoughts on that. Also a visit with Adam Wainwright. We're starting at 10 live from Florida.
Martin, good to check in with you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Be safe, and we'll watch all of your reports on Fox 2 News. Thanks, Martin.
You're the best.
Thanks, buddy.